Good morning. This evening, as I stand here talking to my computer and somehow eventually to all of you, I am acutely aware of what a strange time this is. Katie asked me to speak a bit about what excites me about the vision of St. Paul's, what inspires me as I peer into the future through the lens of this community. As many of you know, I will be leaving my position as the parish administrator of St. Paul's at the end of this year, so I have to admit that I was a little surprised that Katie asked me to share with all of you. That said, I know Katie well enough that I should be used to her special gift for reminding me that I am part of this community, regardless of my church attendance record. I want to start by sharing that I spent my entire childhood, birth to high school graduation, as a pastor's daughter, deep in the center of church life. My earliest memories are of climbing around on church pews and laying on my back, staring up at light fixtures and the wood ceiling while my dad conducted the choir and my mom accompanied on piano. I followed my parents on their spiritual journey through those 18 years as they navigated various denominations, doctrinal positions, and personal calling. I have spent many Sundays in sanctuaries that resemble St. Paul's, and many other Sundays in high school gyms and auditoriums, and even for a while in living rooms as my parents led house churches. When I moved out of when I moved out into the world of adulthood, I was immediately married and a mother before the age of 23, and I simply stopped going to church amidst the intensity of growing into adulthood as a young wife and mother. My Christian journey has been a winding road. I was confirmed in the Episcopal Church in my early 30s in a painful time following divorce. The tradition that we all hold dear was once my life raft as I found my way into a new life as a single mom. In these last 5 years, I have discovered and nurtured a love for contemplative Christianity and have made the woods of South Routt County my place of worship. My work at St. Paul's has been a wonderful complement to this, keeping me grounded in the realities of Christian community. As my journey continues, I am amazed at how God keeps working on me and in me in all aspects of my life. I am also impressed by how much there is to learn about God by sitting in silence under a tree or by repeating the Jesus prayer, Jesus Christ, have mercy on me, while walking. I know that there are many people like me these days who are discovering God and his presence outside the walls of the church, outside of the traditional liturgies and forms of worship. God is among us all, working in and through us, regardless of our ability to connect in person on Sunday mornings. I know that for many of you, Sunday gathering is a sacred time, a time of communion with God and with each other, and I have sensed the anxiety and the hurt that losing this time has caused you. What excites me about your future, about our future, is the possibility that in the short term, in our time of greater need, we might discover and embrace the God that is everywhere. That we might encounter God in places that we have stopped looking because we have come to expect to find him only on Sundays and only among those who worship with us. I am excited to see my brothers and sisters find God, as I have, in the incredible expansive beauty that is laid at our feet, that stands in plain view when you pour your cup of coffee in the morning. I am hopeful for a renewal of our most intimate and personal connections with God as we are met by him in this time of increasing need. As the Reverend Katie has lately been speaking of her vision of St. Paul's as a way station, as a place of radical hospitality and love, where someone like me, whose winding journey has taken her in and out of sanctuaries and traditions, songs and silence, I am excited to think that this might become a reality at St. Paul's. I think true hospitality is found most readily in people who know the God that is everywhere, who are not surprised to find him in the lives of people who have never graced the door of a church, or who have gone a long while without being there, or who, like me, come intermittently to check in. Welcoming a stranger, an outsider, can be a great act of love. If during this time when we cannot gather to worship, we open our hearts to God as he reveals himself in our ordinary lives and in the extraordinary natural world at our doorstep, we will deepen the gifts of love and hospitality that God has given us. Thankfully, this church is adept at caring for the physical space. There is no doubt in my mind that the shelter of these sanctuaries will be well stewarded. But if we are open now to finding God beyond the sanctuary and traditional worship, I think we'll find it easier later when we once again find ourselves in the pew on Sunday morning. And I will tell you a secret. When a girl goes into the woods and sits quietly and waits for God, he shows up. And when she allows God to open her heart to love her as she is, she finds that she wants to share that love with others. She finds that where the love of God has taken up residence in her, there is an equal longing for a community in which to embody that love. We do not need to worry that during these times of fragmentation, the church will be broken up and lost. If anything, I believe we are likely to discover just how loved we are, and I'm hopeful that we will return to our communities full of that love and a longing to share it. Thanks so much.